Have you been looking for this Steve's chicken lava machine thing? Well, you came to the right place because I figured out how to make it work in actual Minecraft. Yes, it works in both survival Minecraft, creative, whatever you want. There's no tricky command block funny business. It looks like the real deal and it functions exactly the same as the real deal. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this awesome epic tutorial. Now, one thing I want to tell you is that the back of this isn't that pretty. I'm no redstone genius, maybe this could have been more compact, but it sticks out by 1 block, and you kind of have to cover up some bits here. I chose to cover it up with barrels, but you'll see later. So if you're planning on building this, put it up against a wall or something, or maybe you don't care if the back looks like that, maybe you got your own way of hiding it, but just letting you know, you will have to find a way to cover this up if you care. Okay, now enough of that, let's get into the tutorial. Alright, I'm gonna show you the resources that you're gonna need just for redstone. You can make this look however you want. These are just the blocks that I chose, but this is the redstone you're gonna need. 22 redstone dust, 7 redstone torches, 9 redstone repeaters, 4 redstone comparators, 1 lever, 17 hoppers, sorry guys, 4 observers, 2 dispensers, not droppers, dispensers, 4 sticky pistons, 6 iron trapdoors, and 1 oak trapdoor. Now I'll tell you, you're going to want to start by digging a 10 by 10 hole 5 blocks deep, okay? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 10 across this way as well. So do a 10 by 10, 5 blocks deep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do that first, okay? And then I just want to let you know that the build is going to be where these yellow wool blocks are. It's going to be perfectly centered in this hole, right above it. This is where the build will sit. So wherever you're planning and you've dug the hole, make sure that it's okay, that you can fit it in right here. All right, I'm just going to get rid of this now. Okay, now I'm going to use yellow wool. Sorry if that's confusing because of this border, but I'm going to use yellow wool for the blocks that I'll be placing redstone on. That's just what I use. You can use whatever you want. Okay, you're going to want to come down to the back left corner and go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Delete all these. You want to have 4 blocks of space on either side, on the left and the back side of it. 4 on each side. Okay, then you're just going to build up a shape like this, exactly like this, and then you're going to put a repeater down in there, in that little hole, cover these 2 blocks in redstone, and put a comparator up here. And you're going to take a hopper and place that hopper into this comparator. Okay, then you can kind of build out like so, and put a hopper going into this block, and then you can delete that block. And make sure you put a redstone torch underneath this hopper. Now what you can do is inside of this top hopper, you're going to want to grab yourself 18 cooked chicken and 4 sticks. So go pause the video, go grab that stuff really quick, and come back. Okay, you're going to put your 4 sticks up on the very right-hand side, and then your 18 cooked chicken are going to sit in here. This is an item sorter, so that you don't get the feathers and eggs and all that other stuff when the chicken dies. That being said, if you'd like to keep all that stuff, don't put anything in that hopper. In fact, delete the whole machine you just saw, and then you'll just link it up differently later. I'll tell you, don't worry about it. I got you. Okay, now what you're gonna do is take one of your dispensers and come off the back of this, go straight to this wall, and place your dispenser facing upwards. It should be in line with this top bit of wool here, and it's just facing up, directly across. You got this. It should be 3 blocks apart if that helps. Okay, this is where you use all those stinky hoppers that take all of your iron from you. You're going to do 2 off the left on this side, and now you're just going to bring them over this way. And when you get to this yellow block here, you can come in towards it, come towards this comparator, and then connect it all like that. So it should flow in this shape all the way to your dispenser. Okay, now we're going to build the little dispensing machine that shoots your chicken up through the floor. So what you're going to do is place a block there, and then have a comparator coming out of this dispenser. That's going to go into a block, which then goes into a repeater. So make sure you put a block underneath it. This is going to go into another block, and now this is where you get out your sticky piston and 2 of your observers. Put a block next to the dispenser here, and then make sure you get your observer facing like this. The face should be facing this piston. And then what you're going to do is quickly place 2 more, delete the middle one, and it should look like this. You should have 2 observers with a space in between it facing each other. What this is going to do is detect any amount of items that are actually in here and shoot them all out, and then when there's nothing else, it turns itself off to save lag. Sometimes this part can break. If your machine's not working, maybe check that the piston is still working. Okay, now what you're going to do is take your whatever block you want to use and just put some blocks here like this in a T-shape, cover that baby up, and then later you'll cover this with grass or sidewalk or whatever you want to do. But just cover this because this is going to help make the chicken shoot straight up and not out to the sides. Okay, now we're going to build a different machine. Okay, now you're going to come to this back right corner and level with the hoppers. You're going to place a wool block right in this corner. Should be 2 down from the floor level. You're going to come out 1 block like this and then go over 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then come out 1. So this should be 8 blocks long in kind of this little horseshoe shape. Go ahead and put another wool block right here. Make a little prongy thing. And now on each of these little prongs that stick out, just go up 1 block diagonally. Just like that. Now on this left one, place a redstone torch here. And on this one, place a redstone torch here. Now take your repeaters and on the blocks with the redstone torches, have a repeater going into them. And connect them with some redstone dust. Also put a repeater going into this redstone dust from this side. And then you can put redstone dust up on these blocks. Alright, now on the tops of these redstone torches, go ahead and place a block. And then put a redstone torch on the tops of both of those blocks. Coming out from this little bit of redstone dust, you're going to place a block and then a piece of redstone dust on top of that block. Okay, now go ahead and make sure that your redstone looks something like this. I guess not something, it should look exactly like this if you want it to work how mine works. So far, this is what everything should look like. Okay, now where this bit of redstone we put here comes up, you're going to place a block on top of it and then go 2 out, and then do 1 diagonal up like this. You're also going to want to come around like this from this redstone torch and just place a block right here, kitty cornered. Now on this block, you're going to place a comparator going into here, and then some redstone dust and a repeater on the end like that. And then a redstone torch coming off the side like this. Okay, now you're going to want to have a block space in between this redstone torch so that it should power redstone like this. And now off of this block, you're going to go up, kitty corner like that, and make sure that there's 2 blocks. Now you're going to come off of this and add 3 more blocks and then do the exact same thing. So you should look like this. You should have 4 blocks here, 2 off, kitty cornered. You're going to have 2 redstone repeaters on both of these ends here, and then link it all up with some redstone. So now we can come back down to this hopper that's the item sorter and place a hopper on top of it. Now you see that hopper going into that comparator, just delete it and then make it go straight down into the one below it and you should be all good. Just make sure you delete that first machine I told you to build. Now coming out from this side and this side, just place 2 hoppers into it. And then now this part doesn't matter, you can place a hopper into this side or this side, doesn't matter, just do either. So all of these 3 hoppers should lead down into this one, so if I throw something in here, it should end up going in here. Oh, and it actually should get stuck. But if this was chicken, it would flow all the way through and it would work. You can go ahead and test this out if you want. Okay, now I'm so sorry I forgot to tell you, but you're gonna need a hopper with a minecart in it and at least 1 rail. And you're just gonna take that rail, place it on here, slap your hopper minecart on there, and then very carefully delete your rail. It's probably going to get sucked up by the hoppers, no worries, it should have just gotten caught in this one and you can just take it right out. Okay, now what you're going to want to do is push this hopper minecart so that it takes up at least 1 corner of all 4 of these hoppers here. That way it'll pick up any blocks above it in a 2x2. It doesn't have to be super pretty, it can be kind of messy. If you really want to fiddle around with it and get it just perfect, you can. But sometimes it's a little tough. So what we're going to start doing now before we can actually finish the rest of the technical bits is actually build the little chicken shack. Now I just guessed what kind of blocks that they were using. I don't actually know 100% for sure. So I ended up going with some red terracotta and smooth sandstone for the majority of this. And I just came off of here and put 2 of these concrete here. And then I took some spruce stairs, stuck them upside down so that it looks kind of like a shelf. And then I have 2 redstone bits on top of that. And then I just did 2 more of this red terracotta. And then off of both of these, you go 3 up with this sandstone and connect it at the top. And I also place a redstone torch on top like this. Now this should just be constantly powered, and that's totally okay. It's supposed to be like that. This machine sort of works backwards, but you can go ahead, place your lever on here. This is your activation switch. You can play with it if you want. It's not going to break anything, but in the off position, this will be glowing. Don't let yourself be confused. All right, I also use quite a lot of just normal terracotta. If you want to use the same blocks as me, go ahead. That's what I use for a lot of the inside there. So coming off of these redstone torches on the top, we're just going to place a block on either side. And this is where our sticky pistons are going to go. You're going to have one going like this, and they should both be powered. And then you can put 2 terracotta in between them like this, and this is where our lava is going to sit on top. We can actually go ahead and build the chamber for this now. So I kind of just covered this stuff up with terracotta. And I kind of just went up like this. I just tried to replicate the shape that I saw in the movie trailer. And then all of this was just covered by glass from what I could tell. And it should look something like this. You can go ahead and put some right here as well. Right here actually ends up being kind of a roof. If you want to fill this in, you can. Mine only comes out about 2 blocks until it hits this pillar. Okay, now if we swing around back here on the back side of the glass, you can go ahead and cover up the sides of these hoppers with the terracotta, just where the minecart is. Now you're going to take your iron trap doors here, and you're going to come to this bottom block and just place them on the top. They should just line up with the top right here. And it does not matter how you place these. Don't worry, they don't actually open or anything or function. I think in the movie it was meant to look like a drain, and it actually does look like a drain for the lava, so it works out perfectly okay. And then I really wasn't too sure what block was going behind these, so I just put normal stone like this. That's what it looked like to me. You can cover up these bits with more terracotta. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and come up one more block with each of these, completely surrounding this. Now your lava actually is going to go where we just placed those blocks, but you need them there for just a second. You're going to take your iron trap doors and place them on those blocks, and then you can delete them. The reason we do this is because we're going to place our lava in here, and our chickens are going to end up sitting on these trapdoors at some point, and you don't want them to burn. And you don't want them to burn on the way down, otherwise you won't see them down in that bottom little chamber. So when these open, it covers the lava, and the chicken can't get burned. Now we can cover the lava with the terracotta. Okay, now just take your terracotta and kind of cover up these spots here. Come up one, and cover up the space like this. So the chickens can still get in there, but they're actually going to be falling down through this spot. So we're going to make a little tube like this out of blocks. Now this is the level where the chickens are actually going to be standing. And now we're just going to build out the platform where these guys are going to chill. And it should just be a 6x6. So up here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now you can just fill all of this in with terracotta or whatever block you want. It really doesn't matter. And now you can just place your wooden trapdoor in here, any position you want. It doesn't matter. You can go like this or this way or this way. It doesn't matter, but just make sure you put 4 wooden pressure plates all around the sides. You don't have to do this. You could just have a normal trapdoor with no pressure plates and just leave it open and they'll fall in. But I found that too many chickens were getting in at once, and they all found their way into here and were just cramming inside of here. And I figured that wasn't that great for the aesthetic, so I put this machine in here to stop that. All right, and now you see those gaps back there where you can see the redstone behind everything. We're gonna go back here and cover that up. So just cover the piston in terracotta on both sides. And now when it opens and closes, you won't see any more of those bits. All right, now we can actually get back to building the actual chicken shack. I use cut sandstone. You don't really see it. It kind of just hides in the bottom. And then I kind of just copied the other side like this, except this ends up being a full wall. So I just come back all the way to here and fill all of this in. It doesn't really matter what you do here. I put more red terracotta there to match the other side. Then I just filled all this in with sandstone. You can actually come up here and cover this with sandstone as well. Just link it all together. And then come up one more block surrounding everything in sandstone. Just one big ring around the whole thing like this. I'm starting to have that tutorial YouTuber voice where I talk in the same cadence, everything I say. It's really funny and I'm stuck. Please help, it's not a joke. Oh yeah, we can also come in here and cover that in terracotta. Sorry if the building is like sort of all over the place. This should all be covered now. Now for the floor, I just use smooth sandstone once again. and I just started coming off these hoppers, and I just covered all of this up. And boom, boom. Okay, your floor should be seamless now. Okay, then I personally took the mangrove stairs. You could use whatever you want, but they were red stairs, but they were smooth. They clearly weren't wood, but this is the closest thing we got. So I just go around this top layer here and cover the whole thing in upside down stairs. Now, if you want to kind of start covering up some of this stuff, you can. Just be very careful. You can put an entire row of blocks here. And you can put them in the middle spots here, but obviously you can tell your redstone needs to be able to get through. So as long as you're not blocking off any of the redstone, you should be okay. All right, now, from what it looks like, they had some sort of banner here in the middle. I'm just using full wool blocks. They had like a sideways banner, which is not in Minecraft. There's actually so many things that they did in this that is not Minecraft at all. Like, I think this is a half slab in the trailer, and they have redstone running on a half slab. Not a thing, Mojang, not a thing. Then you just kind of copy the exact same thing on this side with the little banner. Yeah, it's starting to come together. It looks really nice. You can actually fill this in with your sidewalk or grass or whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. Just whatever floor piece you want. You can actually go ahead and start to fill. Do not place blocks on either of these two, though. You got to leave these two open. If you really want to, you can come under here in these cracks and fill some of this stuff up. You can actually fill the majority of this up, as it turns out. And boom, there we go. Yeah, you can pretty much cover up anywhere you see that I've put blocks here. Now, whatever you do when you're placing blocks right here, just leave this open. Don't stick a block right here. You don't want it to be there. It looks like you could put something there and it would still be powered, and that's true, but it actually delays something in the machine. All right, now we can go ahead and test this. It should work out just fine. There we go. When the lava hits that bottom block, you can shut the machine off. All right, it's really coming together now. It's looking good. For this part, I used jungle slabs because that's the color that it looked like they were using stuff. And then I kind of just come up here and cover in this bottom half of this upper block. And then I fill in the counter with that as well. And now you kind of have your completed little shack here. And now it's time to build the roof. Now, this is where the build gets a little less accurate because Warner Brothers is stinky and they decided that they were going to do a 1-block centered roof over a 2-block centered build. So if you actually look here in this screenshot, it's a 1-block centered roof and then somehow magically turns into a 2-block center. It doesn't make any sense. So to accommodate for that here, we're going to just do a 2-block centered roof because why not? Now, I'm going to use orange terracotta. You can use whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm going in here like this and just doing 2 blocks on either side. And then I'm going to just stair it up like this and then do 2 in the middle. So it should look like this. Now, this side is a little different. You're just going to come diagonal up 2. And then have a 2-block center this way. This part of the roof should be a little bit taller than the first part you just did. And it should look like this. Now do the same on the other side. Bada bing, bada boom. It is in. You can go ahead and connect these blocks. It makes a kind of funny little L shape here and do the same on the other side. On this short front 2-block center, you're going to come behind and do another set of blocks like this. And now you can link up the roof like so. You're going to have 2 blocks that come up in that little hole there. And then you can do the same thing where you just link it up. Now we can do the same thing on this backside, but just warning, once you build this, we are going to have to break just a couple blocks and change things up because we actually have a bit of a machine up here. Boom, boom. We're just going to copy this. And to fill in the glass spots, I used gray stained glass because it didn't look like they were necessarily using super clear glass. So I'm just using the gray stained kind. Filling it all in. Okay, now you're going to want to come inside of your little chicken coop up here. And along line with this trapdoor, you're going to just look up at the roof here and poke a hole in the top like this. For reference, this is the front of the building. It should be about right there. And you're just going to place a dispenser inside of this hole facing down towards you. Make sure it's a dispenser and not a dropper. Then you're going to take your last hopper and place that on top of there, just like so. And now you can break this block next to the dispenser. And you're going to want to place a block underneath the hole like this. So from inside, it should look something like this. Now you're going to take a comparator that comes out of the block, goes into this block, and just like one of the first machines we built, you're going to have a repeater coming out of that block, and then it's going to go into another block again. You're going to take your sticky piston and put it off of this block, and then delete these 2 blocks and do your little observer thingy like so. Do it like this so that you have your observers with a space in between, and their faces should be facing each other. And now you can test it out so that if something goes in this dropper, it should activate, spit it out, and shut off when it's done. You can fill in this little hole down here with the orange terracotta block. Essentially what this machine is going to do is going to infinitely supply us with chickens. Inside of the giant chicken over there that we're about to build over here is going to be a bunch of chickens on top of this hopper, and they're just going to keep laying a bunch and a bunch and a bunch of eggs, so that whenever the eggs get put in here, it gets thrown down and has a chance of spawning chickens. So you'll just infinitely have chickens spawning in here and forever powering your awesome machine. Now this part might get a little tricky for you, so whatever you got to do to make this work, I just am going to build a little basket around the hopper like this so that they can sit in there nice, and then I'm going to place a fence post on top so that whatever chickens are in here can't actually get out. Now, if I were you and you were in survival, I would build a staircase up here and lure them up with some seeds, but I would place a trapdoor and open it because their AI can't detect that this trapdoor is here, and they'll just fall right in. And whenever you have enough chickens in here, you can delete the trapdoor very quickly and place your fence post on top of it like that, whatever you want to do. I would also recommend name tagging a few of the chickens so that they don't despawn. But with all of that in mind, we can go ahead and build the rest of our chicken here. I did a pretty simple thing. It doesn't have legs. It just wasn't possible if you want to have this infinite chicken mode. So I just have a chicken resting on here, and you can follow me or do whatever you want. It really doesn't matter. You can cover all of this up. I just ended up doing a 6x4x4 little block of white wool here. So it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4 tall. And it looks just like this. You can go ahead and place some wool right here to attach this fence if you want to. Sometimes they can slip out. I don't know how, but they can. All right, now on these 4 middle blocks here and 2 blocks down, I just do white wool like this. This is the little chicken chin. And then I go 1, 2, 3, 4 up tall. And from this block, I just go 1, 2, 3. It should just perfectly cover up your little hole, and then you can fill this all in. Just like this. Now you have your fat little chicken head. You can go ahead and add eyes 1 block down from the top. And for the beak, I use yellow concrete. It just comes out 1 block like this, and yellow terracotta. And then I do 2 red wool blocks like that, and there you go. You got your little chicken sitting on top. All of mine escaped while I was building. Make sure they don't get out. Now, it might actually take a while for chickens to fill up in here because they are really stupid, and they actually walk into that hole a lot more often than you would think. So this might actually appear empty more often than not, and that's usually because they all end up falling down into the chamber. There they go. There's a couple of them. I'd also maybe recommend coming in here and giving the chickens some light just so some mobs don't spawn. Not a big deal if they do, but I wouldn't want them spawning in my chicken coop. So now all that said and done, this machine should be finished. You can decorate it more if you want. I went ahead and I just kind of did some little banner stuff. I tried to do what they looked like they had in the movie, but I'm not 100% sure. You can kind of look at some of the decorations that I did over here. I just did some glow frames with some lava and some cooked chicken. I did a little banner over here. If you want the little villager, you can just put a smoker and then get a villager in here and it'll turn into a butcher. I have him sitting in a minecart on a chest. 1, because I don't want him running around everywhere and escaping. And 2, because this is a 1.5 block tall thing. And yeah, this is what it would look like if he was just standing here normally. It would just be his head poking out. And I didn't want that, so I stuffed him in a minecart and put him on a chest. That seemed to be the perfect height, so. There's a couple different things you could do over here to cover this up. One of my recommendations is just putting barrels. It looks like it's in like kind of a street market type thing going on. So I just use barrels. You could build another little stand off the side here or whatever you want to do. However you decide that you want to cover this up, the choice is completely yours. I'm going to go over here and test the machine out. Okay, there we go. It's working. Just a note, when the lava hits that bottom block, it's best to turn it off then, just to make sure you don't burn any of the chicken. And there we go. Our chicken popped up successfully. Very, very nice. I will warn you, sometimes chicken does not come out, and that's because sometimes they just don't drop chicken, and that's just how it is. It's very sad. I think sometimes it gets burnt in the lava, but from what I can tell, this design picks up most of the chicken most of the time, and it looks almost identical to the setup that's in the movie, and it functions exactly the same. Lever in the same spot, redstone in the same spot, same exact design right here, and it actually works. So if you found this helpful, please leave a like and maybe consider subscribing. I don't do tutorial content that often. I actually do really awesome cinematic stuff that looks like this. Okay, are you ready? It's pumpkin pie time! So if you're super interested in that kind of play style of Minecraft, go ahead, check out some of my other videos. But if not, I hope this helped you out and you have lots of fun eating some lava chicken with your friends. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Bye-bye.